Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Today we're taking a look at the Rising Force RS-L02 Crow. This is their second release and their version of a Legend Scale Wildrider for their Decepticon team. The first release was okay. Definitely had its issues, but I have to say I've noticed some improvements on the second release, and we'll take a look at that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's take a look at what comes in the package. You do get your instructions. They're okay. They're a little bit hard to read because the images are so small and some of the moves so minor that you can't really tell what moved where, but it's alright. It's a simple transformation, so not a big deal. It comes with a replacement piece for their catfish dead end. So we'll take a look at that. And also, it does come with Wildrider's blaster. It's detailed enough. Just done in black plastic. Looks okay. And that brings us to the figure. I gotta admit, as I said with Catfish, the alt modes really are fantastic with these. So let's take a look. I mean, he does have a lot of paint accents. The red is painted. The plastic, the gray is a very shiny and stout gray plastic. So it looks really good. There's the view from the front. We have the painted grille underneath in silver and black. The wheels are painted silver. You've got transparent red for the windshield and windows. Orange and red taillights. And it looks really good in my opinion. Nice detail as well. You've got the venting on the front, just like the real car. So, in my opinion, it is well done. I wish they would have put some sort of window or paint or something on the rear window. That's the only gripe, and that's very, very minor. I think that he looks fantastic in alt mode. Here he is with Catfish. I think they look pretty awesome together, to be honest. Check out my review if you missed it. And here he is with the Magic Square version of Wildrider. Very, very similar in size, but definitely more realistic detailing on the Rising Force. Both are fantastic. You can't go wrong with either one. I mean, honestly, I much prefer the Magic Square, but not aesthetically, more functionality. So let's get into the transformation. As I said, it's fairly simple, but I do recommend having a spudger on hand just for a couple of steps. You want to start by extending the hip joint, and that'll release the hands. And from here you can go top or bottom. Let's go ahead and start with the legs. Go ahead and separate and pop this section forward. And now extend. And don't forget, lift this portion on the bumper, because your goal is to bring that down to where it connects to this. Actually, this down, I'm sorry. And then plug it in. Come to the back, and the feet, in some cases, it's been easier to get out. There we go, it actually worked this time. Once you've done that, close connecting that peg to that hole. And we'll show that again. Go ahead and open this up. Extend. Bring this section forward. Rotate. And that actually closed for me. That's nice. Which In some cases, it can be hard to get this exactly right. Just work with it until you get it on both the front and the back. But we didn't bring on our foot. Now we got it. Go ahead and rotate the waist. Here you can bring the hood down. Sorry, my neighbor's dogs are obnoxious if you hear that. Bring the arms out. Collapse the flank. Bring the arms down. And rotate. And now collapse that midsection. And there we go. I'll clean them up and we'll take a look at them. So, looking at the figure, he's got a fantastically red painted face. Let me see if I can get a little more light in here. Red face, yellow eyes with some black outlining around it. Honestly, it looks good, really. Shoulders are the same we saw on Catfish. So you've got a ball joint. So you do get the full 360. Now the tolerances are better, if not a little too much better. So you don't get the floppiness that we had with Catfish. So you got some nice stiff movement. You do have rotation, and you have more than 90 on the elbow. Wrists do swivel. It appears as though at one point they went through a design change, because there is a pin here, as though this may have been at one point a moving panel to get the hands in, but rather than that they went with just leaving it in place, which works fine. White and blue and black paint on the chest. It looks really good. You do have waist rotation, and if you pull up a little bit, you can actually get an ab crunch, which is a nice addition. Coming down to the legs, it's interesting how they did it, because this piece actually screws into this piece through the middle. So you may see in some cases when you move one leg, the other one wants to come with it. But you do get up to there, all the way back, all the way out, and rotation. 90-degree bend on the knee. I think it would have gone a little bit further, but it's due to the sculpt. And coming down to the feet, you do have up and down, as well as a rocker. So articulation on these guys is definitely what you expect from a modern day figure. He does hold his blaster just fine, but we still have that same issue that we saw with Magic Square's version. Due to the placement of the handle being so far forward, when you try and bend the arm, it's going to limit you to less than 90 degrees. You can get a little bit more, but then your gun is pointing down. So I just wish they would just move the handle from the center of the blaster rear backwards a little bit, just to avoid that. And here he is with Catfish. Now, just having gone from their first release to their second, there are some noticeable improvements, namely the joints. His joints are definitely way too loose, so I still need to go over all of his joints with some Kiki. Also, the hood secures better on Wildrider than they do on Dead End, but definitely a noticeable improvement. Here he is with Magic Square Wildrider. Definitely an increase in size and bulk, in my opinion, but it looks really good. The Magic Square, in my opinion, is just better. As far as engineering, you've got better shoulders, better tolerances, and just overall better articulation. Now, as far as the replacement piece on Dead End, what you have to do is extend it. It's replacing this maroon piece with this. So the way that it's going to work is you have to unscrew these very small screws in his back. And then once you take this portion off, you've got to unscrew these screws here. That'll give you access to the back panel. And this is intended to go in where this portion here replaces this section. Now you don't actually need to worry about removing these pins, because the way that it works is you extend the leg out and rotate counterclockwise. So lefty loosey, righty tighty, and these will actually separate. So I'm not going to do it now. Just wanted to give you an overview on how it's done. So final thoughts on Rising Force Crow. He's definitely a noticeably improved second release. The articulation on these guys is great, and the tolerances are a lot better on this than on Catfish. He looks great. The paint is very well applied. The sculpting looks awesome. He's a bit taller than your typical Legend scale figure. I don't really feel what applied to Dead End applies here, where Dead End had more of a chug feel to him, or a mainline feel to him. He definitely feels better, in my opinion. Not perfect, but they've improved. I think they need to try and get away from using so many ball joints, but he's great. A little bit on the pricey side in the US. If you can find him cheaper from an Asian retailer, then definitely go for it. But yeah, I'm definitely all in on the set. It's up to you. I know a lot of people don't like them, but personally, I enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and get your bell on so you get notified for future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.